I really wanted to look up, like, what does it feel like to tear? And I really wanted Google search to be like, bam, this is what it feel like. You know, there it is. What's up, you guys? Welcome to my channel. As you can tell from the title, I am doing a mukbang chit chat, and the topic of the day is childbirth. I put a poll on my story and I asked y'all, what did y'all want me to chit chat about? It was between two topics. It was either between childbirth or pregnancy. Majority ruled for childbirth. I hope you guys enjoy this video. I've never done a mukbang. Am I even saying it right? Is it a mukbang? I'm about to look it up because I don't even know how to pronounce it. I think it's pronounced mukbang. Mukbang. I think I'm gonna just say mukbang. I hope y'all not gonna be mad at me. I don't want to say mukbang. Yeah, it's a mukbang. All right, this video was a special request from my friend from high school. He wanted me to do a review on his food, and I'm gonna give my honest opinion. His name is Christopher. His Instagram name is CJ126. His business profile is Taste Buds. Reached out to me, liked how my channel was starting to take off a little bit, and he wanted me to show a little love on his dishes. So I said, yeah, I got you. You know, I got you. We gotta support one another. Entrepreneurs, we gotta support one another. If anybody watching this wants me to review anything that they sell, any kind of food, any kind of jewelry, clothing, hit me up. This is how Taste Buds is looking, y'all. It's a seafood boil baked potato. It has some crab legs, some corn, some shrimp, some sausage, an egg. It looks really moist, y'all. Like, it looks like it's about to like smack on a whole nother level. We're about to dig in and we about to get into this chit chat. Okay, y'all. So I hope y'all can see the food a little bit. I love seafood boils. Seafood boils smack. They don't slap, they smack. You can't mess up no seafood boil. You feel me? You can't do it. I feel like the best part of a seafood boil is, like, obviously the crab, like, obviously, but it'd be the corn, the egg, and the potato. So the fact that I got everything in one big potato is like, on my table I have, of course, my seafood boil baked potato. I have my cold little water, and I also have a fork, and I have some napkins in case things get a little greasy, you feel me? And to the side I have my notes, my computer with my list of things that I wish I knew when I was giving childbirth. Hopefully this doesn't scare you from childbirth. Like, don't be scared. This is just the real deal. It's part of life. It's a part of being a woman. We're just gonna get right into this the seafood boil. Like, I'm so excited. Really want to do a little thumbnail. So I'm gonna go ahead and start off by pouring this little mixture. Whoa, that look good. I'm gonna give y'all a little bit of POV action right quick. Just want to show y'all how it's looking from my end with the sauce boy. No, that's right. I know that's right. I'm gonna save a little bit. Dip a little bit of something in there when I need to. Before we get into the topic, I just want to take a bite of something. Like, something. It's pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I can, like, for real taste the spices on there. He really put a lot of spices in there. It's not, like, too overpowering. It's pretty good. So, we're gonna get into this chit chat, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and throw a little topic out there. So we're going to talk about actual, like, contractions. You're gonna have contractions with a baby, period. The thing about contractions that I didn't know, for real, was how they started. I didn't really know the beginning of a contraction is going to feel equivalent to you having menstrual cramps. I've had Braxton Hicks before. When I had Braxton Hicks, it woke me up out of my sleep, like instantly. It wasn't until my stomach started like balling up into a hard rock, basically. I was like dealing with contractions at that point. In the process of going into labor, I was having mild menstrual cramps, or the feeling of menstrual cramps. I didn't know what the heck was going on. I thought I didn't feel well. I did not think I was going into labor that night, but like they was just like starting off as cramps. If you are far enough in your pregnancy, and you think that you're feeling some cramps down there, it may or may not be you going into labor. Like, I think I went into labor around 11 p.m. I just knew I didn't feel well, but I didn't know that I was about to go into labor. So next we're going to talk about water breaking. Let me just start off by saying this. When your water breaks, that does not mean the flood is coming. That does not mean your vagina is going to be here and it's going to be shooting bodily fluids over here. Like, it's not going to happen. It's not like that. It's not animated. This is not Hollywood. When your water breaks, it's like water is trickling down, like trickling, like in I mean, it can be in bits and pieces, or it could just be like a line of pee coming down. Like, that's how it is. It's just not a big river, for real. And that's really what I was expecting. Like, my water didn't break when I was going into labor. It didn't break on its own. The doctor just broke my water for me. It really just felt like I was peeing. He was just going straight down my booty crack. All you felt was a little bit of something wet, a little bit of something warm, and that was it. I want to say it was like a little bit of a pop. For some people, it's a lot, and for some others, it's not. If your water doesn't break on its own, it's a great possibility that they're gonna break it for you. That's what happened for me. Like, them going in there and actually breaking it, I didn't really feel that. Only thing I felt was warm pee going down my butt. We're gonna get some egg, and we're gonna dip it. This potato is really easy to pick through. Like, it's not like one of them hard potatoes. It's kind of good for real. We're gonna talk about the epidural. So when I got the epidural, I was about like 5-6 centimeters dilated, and I was in pain. Was I in excruciating pain? Like, was I yelling? Was I grabbing on people? Was I cussing people out? Was I, twist? Like, no. Like, it was not that bad for me. When I couldn't handle it anymore, I got the epidural. Ain't no shame in my game. I got the epidural. I'm not Superwoman. I can't do it. I can't do it, right? If you didn't get epidural, you're strong. You're stronger than I am. So I salute you. When I got the epidural, my body went numb. So when you get the epidural, the doctor told me, the anesthesiologist told me, once the epidural like kicks in, I'm gonna feel like my body is itching from the lower half down, from waist down. And like, that's what happened. And as she was saying that, I was kind of like already like scratching my legs a little bit. Like, what's that? What's that? And then she was like, yeah, so you're gonna be itching and everything. And I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. From that point on, I felt no contractions. The nurses were telling me like, oh, like there's a contraction, there's another contraction. I'm like, oh, really? Didn't feel it. And the only thing that I didn't know that would happen was that I would still feel so much pressure in my butt. The rectal pressure is what I really want to talk about. The rectal pressure is something serious. I got the epidural. That took care of the contractions and all of the pain and the aches in my pelvis. Now, what the epidural didn't do was get rid of the pain and the pressure in my booty, like the rectal pressure. That's what it didn't help with. That's what I didn't know. That's what I wish I knew, and that's what I'm telling y'all. I feel like I had to poop. I would ask nurses, like, am I supposed to feel that? Like, I thought this epidural was doing something. Like, why am I feeling stuff? The truth is, and the nurses told me, the truth is that I was gonna eat that. When you get the epidural, you're not gonna feel cramps, but you're gonna feel something. And if you do get the epidural, don't be prepared to not feel anything, because that is very not likely. Also, considering the fact that the epidural, it works, but it doesn't always work. It just depends on you. It depends on yourself, the anesthesiologist. It all depends. And it also depends on when you get the epidural. Don't just go in there thinking like, oh, I'm gonna get the epidural, I'm not gonna feel nothing, because that is a lie. That's a lie. You're gonna feel something. You're gonna feel something, all right? So since we're talking about the rectus area already, we're gonna talk about pooping on the table, because that is a very real thing that happens when you give childbirth. When you push out a baby, sometimes it's not the baby that you pushing, all right? Sometimes you push a little something called a BM, and that's called a bowel movement, okay? Sometimes you pushing out a bomb, and it's nothing you can do about it. Me, okay, did I poop on the table? No. Did I feel like I was pooping on the table? Yes. Was I afraid to poop on the table? Heck yeah. When you're giving birth, you're using muscles you never even knew you had. You're just using whatever feel right to get that baby out of you. And when you're doing that, when you're working all these motions in the lower half of your body with your butt, like when your butt is squeezing out a baby, sometimes you're gonna squeeze out something else. Like I said, it's nothing you can do about it. Preparing myself for childbirth. I've heard a lot of stories. I researched a lot of stories. I read a lot of stories that it is possible to poop in front of everybody. And that was something that I was afraid of. That was something that I wish I knew going into my pregnancy. Even though my pregnancy was unexpected, I still never knew that. Like, it would have been kind of cool or ideal for sex education to teach us that. Kind of. I mean, I guess not, because it doesn't really benefit us in any way, but I don't know, man. Luckily, I didn't poop on myself, even though it felt like I did. And it's actually funny because when my baby came out, they was like, oh, she pooped. And I was like, who, me? And they was like, no. And I was like, oh. But my baby pooped on me. She pooped right on me. But it's okay. It's my baby. Mama love you. All I'm saying is, if you poop, you poop. Y'all better just hope y'all on God's good side of that day. I also want to do a shout out for another Black-owned business. Her brand goes by the name Pouting Pretty brand. This line is paraben-free moisturizing lipsticks and lip glosses, girl. This is the business card, Pouting Pretty. Info on the back. So if y'all need some lip glosses, some lipsticks, shop with my homegirl, Cassandra. So let's talk about like people like seeing your vagina, okay? I was only allowed one visitor to be in the room with me. I chose my mother to be with me because I felt like that would be the most beneficial for me. I was kind of like hoping that she would look at my butt. Like, I didn't want her down by my legs at all. It's just like, when you are on that table, everybody gonna see you, okay? The nurse is gonna see you, the doctor is gonna see you, and whoever you have in that room, they're gonna see you. It's no getting around it. Because in that moment, nobody is thinking about the fact that you're naked and those are your private parts. Like, that's the forbidden area to see. Nobody's thinking that right now. Only thing people are thinking about is you pushing that baby out safely. That's it. I didn't want to just be out on the table all in front of everybody just naked. Like, I didn't want to do that. I mean, what you got to do that? I didn't really expect to see about 4 or 5 heads staring at my vagina. That's the part that I was not expecting. They were like, oh, there's the head. There they go. Here they come. And whoever is in that room, gonna look. When they say, there's the head, they're going to look. Okay, they're gonna be like, oh, the baby, look at the baby. They're not gonna be like, oh my God, look at her coochie, look at her coochie. They're not gonna do all that. Just know that the people in the room worried about the baby. They're not worried about you. If you really don't want nobody to look at you down there, just tell them, like, hey, like, keep your eyes right here until that baby come out. I don't think I'm gonna eat all this. It's a lot of food for real. If you like spices, this is a really good idea for you. As I go deeper into the potato, it's not so heavy on the spices. I can kind of like mix things together, kind of make things kind of like balanced. So next I want to talk about splitting. When you're pushing the baby out, it's a 90% chance that bottom is gonna part. It's gonna part. That it will. I mean, some people it don't. For me, I did. It was a little painful, but it wasn't crazy. What I like to call it is the ring of fire.
The ring of fire!
For real. I like to call it the ring of fire because I could feel the tear, but it wasn't like crazy. Like, I don't know what I was expecting for it to feel like, but it felt like a little hot sizzle, like traveling up my vagina. And that's the way that I tore, basically. It was like a sizzling feeling, and it was a little hot. I was like, oh, like, hold on, what's that? And I was tearing. That was one of my main, worries, which was tearing. I was like really afraid of tearing. I would look up like, what does it feel like to tear? how to prevent tearing. And I never really found many answers about it. Like, I never found answers on like what it felt like for real. All I would see on the internet was that it just like, they just be like, oh, it hurt. It hurt. Yeah, I got split. Yeah, I tore. That would be it. Like, I would not see nothing that would like, that would really describe what it felt like to tear. I really wanted to look up like, what does it feel like to tear? And I really wanted Google search to be like, bam, this is what it felt like. You know, there it is. Even my description might not be accurate for someone else because everybody's body is different. But that's really what it felt like for me. It felt like the ring of fire traveling up my coochie. Without the epidural, I can't say what it would feel like. You have to experience that for yourself or ask somebody who actually went that same route as you. Next, we're gonna talk about the pain. Me tearing was like my idea of where the pain would happen. Like, I thought I would just feel like all the pain there is to feel right then and there. Of course, I knew I would be a little sore, but that was not the worst part. That wasn't the worst part at all. I would say before the actual birth, which was the contraction, it wasn't easy, but it wasn't hard. It was durable. The nurse would push on my hip to kind of relieve a lot of the pressure from my butt. But that was about it. Now, during birth, you also do not feel a lot of pain. With the epidural, though, remind you, I had the epidural. So with my epidural, while I was giving birth, while I was pushing the baby out, I did not feel any pain whatsoever. The only thing that I felt was the baby itself. I wish I knew that the actual like giving birth portion wasn't going to be painful. Otherwise, I would not have tripped over it so hard. I wouldn't have stressed over it so much. Before giving birth, I thought I was, like, I legit thought, like, I might die. I'm little built. I'm slim built. I never in a million years thought, like, I could push out a whole baby. I just felt like I would have some issues with it because I'm so small. And I thought, like, that joke was gonna take my life, like, no joke. So that was the easiest part. I tripped for absolutely nothing. Where I felt the most pain was like after the whole birth giving process itself. That's when I endured the very most pain, and it hurt so bad. I don't think I really considered postpartum pain at all until it was like postpartum time. If there is anything that I wish I would have known before childbirth, it would probably be the postpartum part. You're just in excruciating pain after you give birth. Like, it just hurts to walk. Like, you're really just inching, just walking on your tippy toes, trying not to feel any pain down there. It feels like your butt is ripping every single time you take a step. I would say it feels like that for the first week of recovery. I want to talk about pushing again. What I wish I knew about pushing as well, you really got to be pushing with all of your might. I would say, like, I wish I knew how exhausted I would be after every single push. Every single push made me more tired, made me more weak. Pushing a baby, y'all, pushing a human, pushing anything out of your body, that's all right here, first of all, that's a lot of work. And that made me so exhausted, y'all. I felt like I was on a different kind of high when I was done pushing. It took so much out of me that I would ask the nurse, can you pass me that water? Okay, like, please. When I was pushing, I could hear how it was affecting my baby because I could hear the heart rate kind of slow down every time I pushed. And that was a little scary. The pushing is serious. It's not the fact that it hurts, because it doesn't hurt. It's just the fact that it takes so much out of you. I would really say find some anger. Like, find something that hurts you that you still mad about probably. And you gonna find a little bit of might. Like, that's how much it took out of me. Them little 7 pound, 6 pound, 8 pound babies ain't no joke when you gotta push them out, y'all. I wish I was more prepared for it because I didn't know if that was normal. Like, should I be feeling this a week, dang near about to pass out? Should I be feeling like that? Another thing that I wish I knew was that it would take so much of my strength that blood vessels would pop out. Okay, like blood vessels in my face. And you might be able to see it in my birth vlog. I was using so much strength and so much of my might that the blood vessels it was like on one of the sides of my face, it was a blood vessel that stayed there for a couple weeks as like a little trophy. Like, you did it, girl. You did it. I never knew that could happen until it did. Like, right after I gave birth, I noticed it. I was like, it's my face. So read that like it could happen on your eyeballs. It could happen like that. People just don't be bringing stuff up, and it'd be kind of weird to me. Like, why you ain't never talk about this? Now we're gonna talk about how when you give birth, you're giving birth twice. Not once, but twice. And I say that because after you give birth, a nurse is gonna come in. You're gonna be laying down relieved, thinking it's over, while they're taking care of the baby, a nurse is gonna come up to you. She's gonna, hey, how you doing? Then she's gonna push on your belly. She's gonna push on your belly. And it's going to hurt a little bit. I didn't know that. The reason why they push on your belly is because they're trying to work out the placenta out of your body. And then the placenta is gonna come straight down and out your vagina, and you're gonna give birth a second time, but to a placenta. Nobody told me about that. Nobody taught me that. I was doing my own research on placentas and why people keep them and the health benefits and how much they cost. When I gave birth to my placenta, the nurse took it right away. Like, I couldn't even say, like, can I keep it? They took it and ran with it. Like, girl, what you need my placenta for? So yeah, you're not giving birth once. You're giving birth twice. And the way that it feels, I didn't feel anything, especially with my epidural. Even when I was getting stitched up, the doctor or the nurse came straight over, stitched me up using pins and needles. I didn't feel it at all. And maybe that gives an idea also as to like how an epidural really works. You don't really feel nothing for real. Only thing that I felt was like a warm gush. Like it just felt like a warm, slippery something came out. That's all it felt like. That was the placenta. It didn't hurt giving birth to the placenta, but it did hurt when they was like pushing it and moving it down my stomach. The next thing I want to talk about is pooping. TMI, but this is real stuff, okay? I really lied. So you don't give birth twice to your baby, to your placenta. You actually give birth 3 times, and the third one is your poop. That first poop that you take is worse than giving birth to your child. Like, I'm not even trying to be extra when I say that. When I say you pooping is probably one of the most painful things that you're gonna experience out of this whole process, I'm being real with y'all. It's gonna feel like the biggest dump you ever took in your life. You feel like you're literally delivering a baby out your booty crack. But I promise y'all, it's only gonna be a couple pebbles. I swear. The pain down there, it just takes everything up to a whole nother level. I tried to hold my poop in as long as I could. Like, I didn't want to poop at all. I tried to eat stuff that would not make me poop. So many stool softeners, because I was trying to prepare myself, because I was like reading the reviews that was saying like, yo, I just took my first poop and oh my god, I almost died. Really hoping that I could like not poop for a week straight. Yeah, I hate to break it to y'all, but y'all gonna have to just take that poop. It's gonna hurt, it's gonna suck, but y'all gonna feel relieved. It's gonna feel like the biggest accomplishment yet. Like, y'all thought having the baby was the accomplishment? When you get off of that toilet and when you flush, put a crown on your head type stuff. Like, you did it. Like, because that's hard, okay? That's freaking hard. All of us have been through it. All of us are gonna go through it. None of us died from it. It feels like you're dying in the moment, but you're gonna get over it. Every time you poop, it gets easier each time. Also, since we're talking about like bathrooms and using the bathroom and everything, I didn't know that I wouldn't be able to wipe my butt for weeks, okay? Tissue was not going to get wiped through the coochie or the booty. If you're stitched up, for one, you don't want to mess with nothing down there. Using tissue was a no-no. Like, no wiping, no dabbing. You don't want nothing. You just don't want it. You don't want nothing down there just touching nothing. You have to use what's called a peri-bottle. A peri-bottle is, I'm gonna insert a picture, but a peri-bottle is the picture that you see. It's a squirt bottle basically, and you fill it up with warm water. You aim it up towards your vagina. You squeeze it, and that is your new version of tissue. You can't wipe yourself, so you just want to kind of like flush out like all the blood and all the gook and everything that's down there. I didn't know that. I had to look up what to pick in my hospital bag, and when I saw a peri-bottle, I was like, what the heck is that? Okay, so now we can also talk about another postpartum factor. I did not know how long I would be bleeding for. I was bleeding for so long, I can't even really tell y'all how long I bled. Your ideal recovery time is 6 weeks postpartum. That's when they give you the okay to be sexually active again. Ideally, I thought like, okay, like by then, like I would be done with postpartum bleeding and recovery and everything. Not the case, okay? Not the case. I had my baby May 12th of 2020. I bled for like all summer of 2020. pretty much. I want to say I didn't stop bleeding until fall, August to mid-August. I don't know. It's been months though, okay? Don't think like after a few weeks you're done bleeding. Don't think after you have your baby you're done bleeding. No. You just gotta really keep up with your hygiene during this time, because the bleeding, lack of tissue use, squirt bottle use only is not going to smell the best either. You might smell like a half-dead animal. It might smell a little crazy. Like, I'm not gonna lie. That's another thing. I did not know the smell that came with postpartum. With postpartum, you have big blood clots dropping out of you. I don't know what I expected, but I did not expect to bleed that long. Gigantic blood clots falling out of me every day. The smell that came from my vagina, I didn't expect that. Did not expect the pain that I had to endure just by simply shifting gears just a tiny bit. I swear to y'all, the worst pain comes after you give childbirth. It's the part that comes after. Not the part that comes during, not the part that comes before. But we're gonna move on because I've been talking about this for a while. Is the fact that you're going to still look pregnant even after you give birth. Now I know some of y'all might just be like, what? Like, girl, what? Yeah. After you have your child, after you go from this, you're not gonna go to this. You're not gonna go to that. Okay? You're gonna go from this to this. You're going to look like you just had a child, basically. You're not gonna look like how you used to look like before being pregnant. The only difference is y'all will feel a little lighter. You're not going to see your stomach like going down fully until, I would say, at least 4 weeks till a few months from after having your child. I don't know why we expect to snap back so instantly and why we're so desperate to snap back so instantly, because it takes our bodies 9 months to make children. It's gonna take 9 months for us to go back to what we was before doing what we had to do to create these little human beings. We're not gonna snap back. So if you didn't know that, now you know. I'm sure a lot of you knew that, and I'm sure a lot of you don't. Even now, I don't have the flattest stomach. I'm 10 months, almost 11 months postpartum. My stomach didn't go back all the way yet. So that's something to be prepared for. Don't be hard on yourself if you are like not losing weight like that. It's coming. Just wait on it. So a lot of you probably know this, but some of you might not. You can't have no sex. Why? Because you need to let that coochie and that booty heal. You can't do it. If you do it, talk to your doctor. Probably gonna cuss you out. Just saying. But you're not supposed to do that. They have their reasoning. Just from telling y'all how it feels, I don't think it's gonna feel that good. And I'm just keeping it a jelly bean. I don't think it's gonna feel that good, y'all. So I know a lot of moms really don't even be in the mood for intercourse until months after delivery. For me, I wasn't worried about none of that. I don't want to be touched or none of that. So what I'm about to talk about next is for the moms who are breastfeeders. In case you didn't know, breastfeeding makes you dry. Flat out. Breastfeeding kind of like imbalances your hormones and your estrogen hormones and everything. Your hormones are just like fluctuating and they're just different. There's like, I don't know, it's like just a big body change to you. It's really hard for you to get wet and stay wet. I really hope there is nobody here watching this video that has no business watching this, because this is like TMI, very personal, and like this is a girl talk, bro. But I never knew that about breastfeeding. I never knew it could have a different effect. Well, I knew it could have a different effect on my body. Which is probably why I'm still very skinny. But as far as like down there, I didn't know something up here could affect what's down there. If you have intercourse while breastfeeding, to be prepared for a lot of friction. Use lube, because it's not the same as like before breastfeeding. Hopefully I'm telling y'all before y'all find out for yourselves and y'all not just out there. I'm gonna let y'all know. When I thought I was ready again for intercourse, I wasn't. Really looking up on Google, what is wrong with my vagina? Why will my vagina get wet? Why is my vagina broken? In that moment, I was like, oh my God, I have a broken vagina. Ever heard of that song from that TV show Insecure? Broken coochie. Broken coochie.
I think your pussy's broken. Maybe it's dry as hell. Maybe it really smells broken pussy. Maybe it's really rough. Maybe it's had enough.
That's exactly what I was thinking in my head. Broken coochie. There's a few more things that I want to bring up before I end this video. I want to kind of go through them kind of quickly. The next thing I want to talk about is labor and delivery plans. Even though you make a plan, even though you have a perfectly planned out birth routine, like how things are going to go, how you're going to have music playing like this, water, bath, temperature, this temperature, and you're going to have your bed at a certain degree angle. Sis, you're probably not going to give birth the way you think you are. It don't always happen. I had a whole birth plan. When it was time to give birth, I wasn't thinking about no birth plan. Only plan that I had was to get this baby out of me, to keep my baby in the same room, and to not catch COVID. That was the new birth plan. I swear to you, I had typed up a whole entire birth plan, and I didn't go by it at all. A whole entire birth plan, and I didn't go by it at all. So that is like, it's good to have a mindset of how you want things to go. It's good to have a plan. It's just not always likely that things will happen that way. A lot of the times, moms want a vaginal birth, and a lot of times, moms have to have a C-section. Stuff just don't happen according to plan. Stuff just happens in the best way that's safest for the baby and yourself. Focus is on your child. Your focus is not on lists of things that you want to go down. Just be open to whatever takes place at that given moment. Just be happy and just look forward to the new life that you're about to bring in. Next thing that I want to talk about is the epidural. Before getting the epidural, I was thinking of huge needle and major pain in my spine. So scared of having back pains and everything, feeling like an old lady and hunching over. So let me tell y'all the tea about that. First of all, I cannot tell you how big and how small the epidural needle is because I did not look at it. And me not looking at the needle probably has a lot to do with me feeling like it didn't hurt. If you want to not feel much pain, just don't look at it. So the very last thing I want to tell y'all is crazy. I really truly wish somebody told me this. And y'all minds are probably gonna be like, bro, last thing I want to let y'all know is this. So a lot of moms like myself are I don't want to say we're worried about stretch marks, but a lot of us try to do every single routine, use every ingredient, every little moisturizer on our bodies for stretch marks because we want to prevent stretch marks. We want to have a stretch mark free pregnancy. The thing about it is, even though you don't see any stretch marks, that does not mean you are out of the clear for stretch marks. And I'm gonna tell y'all why that is. So you're pregnant for 9 months. Your skin and everything is stretching, okay? You can very well get stretch marks after having your child. That is simply because after your body stretches and everything, when it's time for that skin and that fat and everything to retrieve, I'm not going to say you're going to have looser skin, but your skin isn't going to be at the newness, the tightness, or whatever you want to call it, the elasticity it was before birth. Y'all know how we be getting thick during pregnancy and everything. Your booty get big, your thighs get big, our boobs get big, our bellies get big. When all of that goes back to normal, you're sometimes gonna have stretch marks there. My whole pregnancy, I didn't have stretch marks really. I had a little bit on my side, and at the very end, I got some on my stomach. You couldn't see it unless you was really looking for it. After pregnancy, all of those stretch marks became a little bit more pigmented still. They're not super bad. As you guys saw in my Shein channel haul, y'all probably didn't even see that I had stretch marks for real. I have stretch marks. I didn't notice them like that until after my baby. I hope you guys enjoyed this chit chat about things that they do not tell you about childbirth. I hope I was able to inform you guys on something, and now you are well prepared for what's to come. Don't be afraid of childbirth, y'all. Don't be afraid of pregnancy. Just know to be prepared. Don't not expect stuff to happen that's not gonna go according to plan. Just be prepared. That's the best advice I can give to you guys. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Like it, comment, and subscribe it. Okay? Thank you guys so much for watching. Be on the lookout for my next video next week. Please don't forget to check out Taste Spuds on Instagram, TASTE Spuds, SPUDZ. And also Pouting Pretty, pouting_pretty on Instagram. This is her business card. And yes, spread the love, y'all, and the love will come back to you.